This is Julianne Condia, host of Rewritten. Thank you so much for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers, or you can grow weeds. Hello, welcome to Choose to Rise. I am so grateful you're here with me today because we are going to talk about that garden that is planted, that beautiful garden that is in your mind, and you have the powerful opportunity to grow amazing things in your head. I know that sounds so crazy, right? But your mind is a powerful place where things can either grow or things can die, and you have the choice. It's the beautiful part of it is that you have control over it. And just like our homes or our offices or life in general, when things get cluttered, it makes it really hard to remember that we are in control. So today I'm going to share with you a few tips, a few strategies on how to declutter your mind and how to rise up to live your absolute best life, which is what we're all about here on Choose to Rise. So when we talk about decluttering our mind, we're talking about freeing up space. We're talking about allowing ourselves to dream bigger dreams, to live the life that we're supposed to live, to align ourselves with the mission and purpose that God has created us for. And so when we declutter our minds, it's a lot more than just thinking happy thoughts. The first tip I have for you is to change your environment. When you're trying to get out of a headspace, when I personally am trying to figure things out, or I feel frustrated, or I feel confused, the best thing for me to do is to change my environment, for me to move to a different place. Get into a different space physically helps me get into a better space mentally. And so maybe that's finding a quiet spot in my house. Maybe it's just moving out of my office outside. Maybe it's just going to a different spot. And maybe just figuring out what your environment will look like will help sometimes just clear your space, which is all the times why authors and people like that go to a retreat space, find a new place to write their books. It's just quiet, comfortable place to just do their thing. The second tip I have for you kind of leads right into that is to get outside and focus on nature. Nature is one of the most calming things it can be. And it's definitely the thing that helps me kind of clear my head as well. One of the things that I try to do in my daily routine kind of before this whole COVID thing happened was get outside and walk my dog every day. I made it very intentional for me to get outside, take her for a walk that not only helped her, but it also helped me as well. And I just plugging into nature, putting a good podcast or something positive into my mindset. Maybe sometimes even just the best times on my walk were when I just took my earbuds out, or I turned off the sound. I just had my phone in my pocket and I just walked and talked to God. And getting outside and focusing on the beautiful trees outside, the wind on your face, the sun on your skin, all of those things can help you remember that you are a part of something much bigger in life, and that you don't have to have it all figured out, but you are just going to be able to, understand that, what you're working on may not be the end of the world, because the world is much bigger than we are. The third way that you can declutter your mind is to journal. This is one of the things that I love doing right away in the morning. But even when I feel like I've got a thought or I've got something going on in my mind, I want to get it out right away. I know I'm going to lose it eventually. So getting out a piece of paper and journaling it. Last night I had a hard time falling asleep. And so one of the things that I did automatically was just roll over, and I happened to grab my phone. I usually have a piece of paper next to my bed or get up and go to a notebook, but I just happened to roll over and write down all of my thoughts in the notes section of my phone. So I could just feel at ease going to sleep. I decluttered my mind. I did a brain dump onto the document. And then this morning I woke up and I was able to review it and understand these are my thoughts, and that's okay. And really just felt better about the whole situation. So journaling is the third step. Number 4 is to talk to someone who cares about you. So a lot of times, we like to hold in our thoughts, or we like to hold in our struggles, or we like to hold in and not feel like we're going to burden somebody with other things, or worried about being judged in some sort of way with what we share with other people. But talking to someone who really cares about you and that's in your corner, 1, they're not going to judge you because they care about you. 2, they want you to feel better. And talking about it releases it out of your system and allows you just to declutter that space. So just like if you were in your kitchen putting the dishes in the dishwasher or picking up all the kids' toys off the floor, creating space for new opportunities to happen is a great thing. So talking about your emotions, talking about your feelings, talking about what's going on with you with someone else frees up that space for you. Number 5, do something thoughtful for someone else. I used to have a quote on my my board in my office at school that said, the best way for you to forget your troubles is to help someone else with theirs. And that was always a reminder to me that I was in a service position. And no matter how hard I felt like life was going for me, my job was here to serve. And so when doing something for someone else is a great two-way street of maybe making sure that you have someone else in your life that feels valued and served, but also it makes you feel good too, knowing that you've done something good for someone else. So it's a win-win both ways. Number 6 is tidy up your physical space. I know a lot of people, I'm not necessarily one of them, I'm not a cleaner, but I do know a lot of people that when their physical space is clean, their mental space is automatically clean. It just gives them that vibe, that feeling of like being productive for one, and also just like they can think clearly because there's not stuff around. So tidying up your physical space. So maybe that's cleaning off your desk so you have just enough space for you to work. Maybe that's cleaning up the kitchen before you go upstairs to work because you know it's something you got accomplished. I know when my kids were in school, which seems eons ago, when my kids were at school, I would take them, drop them off. I would come back in the house, start the Roomba, pick up all the things on the floor, clean up the kitchen so it was nice and tidy, and then come upstairs and start my work hour. So it's really just a matter of figuring out what makes you work, what makes you tick, and what's going to make you feel the most uncluttered. Okay, number 7, the last one I have for you is to get absorbed in a great book. I have hundreds, if not thousands of mentors from all over the world who I probably will never, ever get to know because I read about them, I listen to their books, I read their books, I dig into their content in some sort of way. I've been exposed to them in some way in my personal development. Getting absorbed in a great book is a great way to forget what's going on, 2, enhance yourself with personal development, and really just declutter life because you are growing in a new way. And when you can grow, you can expand to a new space. And that's an even cooler thing. So get absorbed in a great book, tidy up your physical space, do something thoughtful for someone else, talk to someone who cares about you, journal out your thoughts, mind dump all of those things, get outside and focus on nature, really understanding how small you are in such a huge, huge world, and really changing up your environment are great ways for you to declutter your mind, create more space for who you are, and really be able to accomplish more in life. So your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. It's totally up to you. When you declutter, get rid of the weeds, grow beautiful flowers in your heart and mind, your life is just going to be so much happier and so much more fulfilled. And you'll definitely be able to rise up out of your current situation to live your absolute best life. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'd love to know which point was the most helpful, impactful to you, and for you to share this with others who love Choose to Rise. So head over to choosetoriseup.com, leave a message for me there. You can leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, and you can just share this on your social media. It's probably the easiest way to share Choose to Rise and tell other people about it. If you're listening to this podcast, just a reminder that the video is live on Choose to Rise Facebook, Choose to Rise Up on Facebook. And if you're listening here on Facebook, tell your friends about the podcast version. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you back here again next time.